Hey there, LEGO family. Welcome to another video at Good Life Bricks. I'm Justin. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about another set from 1999. This one is set 7150, TIE Fighter and Y-Wing, as you can see laid out in front of me. And this is actually a set, one of the few sets that's that old that I still actually have instructions for. So I thought we'd spend a little time on this one. This is the first set where we're going to see Darth Vader. The first set of review that I'm doing, that we're going to see Darth Vader and the Y-Wing, and they call it a TIE Fighter. It's really more of a TIE Advanced. But let's break it down and see what we find out. So real quick, let's go through a few of the key facts about this set. It released in 1999. Set number 7150, the official name is TIE Fighter and Y-Wing. It comes with 3 minifigures. The original sale price for this set was $50. It's interesting, and I don't know for any of you who are kind of into the LEGO investing scene, the value of this set new in box today is upwards of $170 to $200. So it's got, a good 3 to 4 times value today. But the set is actually pretty cool. There's only one problem I have with it, and it's a minor thing, but the blue on the TIE Fighter. Back in the day, all of the sets came in the black and dark gray and blue color scheme. I can't remember exactly when it was. I'll look into it. But years later, we saw the color scheme change, and it went to the gray, dark gray, and generally black and white. So I like that better. I think it's a little more realistic. I think it's what we see in the movies and all the source material. But this is cool. This was a great start. You see right away on the TIE that big panel in the front, that window panel. It gives you good visual access into the TIE Fighter. It's got the guns at the front, just the little red brick pieces. The lid opens, or the roof opens, so you can have access. But what's unusual is this is the only access you have. So, you're trying to get a person in there. It gets a little bit difficult. But it's really well made. I mean, the look and the feel, the shape of the ship is very accurate. And I think, it's really a nice looking TIE Fighter. Again, the blue is the only problem that I have with it. The next ship is the Y-Wing. And I think they knocked this one out of the park. I mean, the wings, the engines, which also doubles as wings, I think have, accurate proportions based on the source material. They've got the gun that goes over the front, over the cockpit screen. You have access to the cockpit by just lifting up the windshield screen, and you've got a couple control joysticks, and then you've got your computer screen there. I think it's really interesting that they put this piece here that then requires the pilot to lean all the way back. And maybe if I can get him in there, but so he's basically laying down there in the cockpit, which I think is pretty good. And then you can they position these in such a way that he can then hold on to the levers and fly the ship from that perspective. I don't know how realistic that actually is. I mean, it looks kind of cool, but I don't think he can see his instrument panel. I don't think he can see straight in front of him. So, if it's realism that we're looking for, then maybe not so much. But it's It's kind of a cool look. They've got a little mechanism they built here to hold this box in place. So if you twist these, then you have access to this um, little guy right here, which I'm not going to be able to get out while we're filming. But you can hold guns and different equipment in there. And then they give you a little hatchback here so that you can put other things in there, again, weapons or something like that. And then you've got the droid socket that the R2 unit fits in, and then the pegs down at the bottom where his legs hold him in place. So that's pretty cool. It's a good build. It's a good looking ship. I'll say the one thing, as you see, as I was lifting and opening and closing this, the one thing that you see is that these aren't as reinforced. The builds aren't as reinforced today or then as they are today. So it's much harder to break a Lego by opening a hatch or a panel or something like that today than it was back then. That was the one like overarching complaint that I had back in the day. I remember I had the original Star Destroyer, and it was like a mind-blowing 3,200, almost 3,200 piece Lego or something like that. I may be wrong about that, but very large. And when we built it back around 2000, 2001, I couldn't transport it. I couldn't move it. Once you built it, that's where it stayed, because as soon as you picked it up, it fell apart. And a lot of these sets still do that. A lot of these older sets will pieces will fall off here and there, and it can be a little frustrating. But again, it's fun to see the evolution of Lego and what they've done over the years to really reinforce the sets and to keep that kind of thing from happening. So let's take a look at the 3 minifigures that come in the set. So like I said, there are 3 minifigures that came in this set. Obviously, you recognize Darth Vader. This is the first set. I think I said earlier in the review, this is the first set that we're reviewing together that had Darth Vader in it, and we'll take a look at him. And then we have John Dutch Vander, otherwise known as Gold Leader. You'll remember him from A New Hope. Later, I think we saw him, years later, we saw him in Rogue One as well. Again, we'll take a good look at him. And then Astromech Droid is R5D4, and I'm not sure if that's Gold Leader's normal droid. I've never really looked into that, but that's who they included with this set. As we take a look at each individual figure, for those of you who are familiar with today's minifigures and characters, this is pretty basic. Light gray head, little scarring just on the front. No scarring on the back, which is something that we're pretty used to seeing nowadays. It's got a fully printed chest that I think is not nearly as good as what you would see in today's figures, but again, gets the point across. It lets you know you're dealing with Darth Vader. Of course, the mask also lets you know that. And then you've got the red lightsaber with the chrome hilt, which I love those. I think the original chrome hilts that they made were just really cool. So you've got the normal Vader mask. Now, what's different about the older figures is that there's no bottom portion of the mask. As many of you might know, today's figures come with a top and bottom portion. So the bottom portion, you take the figure's head off, you put it over the neck, and then you put the head down on top of it, and you've got that underside of the mask. This it just has it all kind of in one piece. So, which is fine. I mean, it looks good. Again, easy to recognize. So Gold Leader, or John Vander, is a very unique style of face print. He's got the headset, the earpiece, and then he's got a little tuft of hair that just kind of comes out of nowhere. Again, nothing on the back. You've got the very standard Rebel pilot suit, which lasted for 2 or 3 years before they started to do a little bit more piping and more the flight suit type of stuff that we're used to. Black gloves as a part of the suit, and then a very detailed helmet. And I think this is one of the cooler helmets. It's got a different design on it, almost like a radar grid type of design. Just kind of cool, a little bit different. No Rebel insignia anywhere. Many of the helmets might have, the Rebel Alliance red Rebel Alliance insignia, or even potentially blue, but not on this one. And then we've got R5D4, the astromech droid. In my review the other day, I talked to, or a couple weeks ago, I guess, I talked a lot about the R2D2 that came in the set that I was reviewing, and this astromech droid, also from 1999, is very much the same. No back printing. The head printing has a dome it's just very high up at the top of the head, and it goes all the way around, which is nice. But the modern astromech R2 or others would have the print come all the way down to where the head meets the body. You got a nice front print that I think is very realistic. Nothing on the legs except a Lego marking. Typical droid shaped body. Nothing really special or unique, but back in the day, in 1999, these were the first R2 units that we saw, or the R5 unit, I guess. That was pretty sweet. It was pretty cool, and it's just gotten better and better. And then the last thing about this set, I actually do have the instruction manual. It's not in great shape. It's certainly not new, but it looks pretty good, and it's all the pages are there, and it's got some good, the good typical instruction detail. So alternative builds that you can make on the back, and comic on the inside. That was the first year they did those type of things. I don't know, it's Lego style, right? The creativity. I'm more of a realist, so I want all of my builds to look exactly right. I want them to be as realistic as possible, and so I didn't go for any of the alternative builds, but I know there are a lot of Lego enthusiasts out there that do, and more power to them. I think it's great. That's what Lego is about. So next, why don't we take a look at some comparisons with some more modern sets. Okay, so I've gathered some minifigures for comparison's sake. So we start with Darth Vader. You see the old one here, and as you compare the printing on the body, you can see quite a difference. You've got robes that go all the way down, the printed robes that go all the way down. You can see the kind of silverish, dark grayish chest plate material. You've got a softer cloth cape versus the original very starched cloth. And then as you take the helmet off, you can see the helmet it's a partial helmet. It's more open around this edge here, because there is still a helmet piece down or around his neck. Now, this is an extreme example. This is like right after the Vader transformation, or I think it's actually part of the Vader transformation set. But I mean, that's a pretty gruesome looking Anakin head. But as you compare the newer versus the old, there's a lot of difference there. I mean, you've got from, you know, the skin color to the eyes, to the scarring, similar scarring, you know, similar in terms of location, but quite a bit of difference. The suit, it looks more advanced, and you know, the technology, the printing that they're doing here allowed them just to do a lot more. So that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier, but that's a pretty good, I think, comparison. And then when you look at the Rebel pilots, you see the detail on the uniform that I was talking about. This is the original. This is the newer. Actually, this is the Y-wing pilot from the Yavin 4 set. And I mean, just a lot more leg printing all the way down the front, and a lot more kind of modern flight suit type of a thing. Chin strap. If you take the helmet off, you see the face printing, the lenses for his eyes. Again, the chin strap. And then you have an alternative face on the back, which is also something that's different in the modern day figures. You also got back printing. Gold Leader didn't have any back printing. The helmet printing went further down the back, came all the way around the side, all over the front, the fin of the helmet, and then all along the other side as well. Versus this, you just have some. I mean, this is still pretty cool, but it's good. But you know, it stops about the halfway point, just beyond, and nothing on the sides. So, and then we come to the Astromechs, and so the old, again, I talked about the lack of kind of printing that goes further down. You see this face print, or this dome print. It starts up high just like the other one, but it comes down much lower. So you've got a more front looking droid versus a droid that looks like it's looking up. So like it looks, as from this camera angle, it looks like it's looking up at us, versus this one, which is a little bit more front looking. No leg printing, still very similar front print, as you can see, but no back print, so that didn't really change. And the dome printing goes all the way around, just like it did back in 1999. So, you know, I mean, the difference is, I think, noticeable, certainly. I don't think it's like extreme. Maybe when it comes to Darth Vader, there's some real extreme differences. But the droids aren't too much different. Got skin tone here versus yellow skin. But they were making attempts. You know, this is, I think, one of the first. I think this is the first Lego Star Wars minifig that came with that detail of face print, and so this has become kind of the norm now. But this was certainly a precursor to that. So those are the minifigures, and then as you look at the ships themselves, let me move this cup out of the way. There are some differences here. The gun itself is smaller. There's a droid in the socket there. I think there's a pilot in there. This is the Resistance Y-wing from the prequels, or excuse me, the sequel, Star Wars sequel movies. The half golf ball size front of the engine, or half golf ball shaped front of the engine versus this kind of look. But there's not that much difference in those engines. This one's a little longer. It's got connecting pieces to make it a little bit longer. But there's definitely some similarities. You've got the droid socket sideways. I talked about this in one of our previous reviews. If you want the droid looking forward, you have to take the head off and turn it. Not a big deal. It's Lego. You know, that's what you do. Versus this orientation, which allows the droid's whole body to just look forward. This has bombs in it, and I think this mechanism here, as you twist it, drops the bombs. You can see it spinning inside there as they roll away. So that's kind of cool. Just a little bit more modern touch. I like the large gun on this ship. I think that's kind of cool. This gun on this ship doesn't lay flat, which I mean, maybe that's the design, but that's okay. I love the paneling here. It gives it more of a sleek kind of aerodynamic look, and it goes all the way around the side. And then you've got decals and detail on the engines, so you've got a little bit more detail in this version. And then moving over to the TIE fighters. So I wanted to get one that had a similar body style, and the closest one that I could find was the TIE bomber. So this TIE bomber is a little more detailed. It's got the guns that fire projectiles. This one didn't have any guns or flick fire or anything like that. It just had those one by one brick pieces that made it look like guns on the front of the ship. This one is the TIE bomber, so it has bombs that would drop out of it, similar to the Y-wing we just looked at. If you push down on this, the bombs come out and roll. So, you know, like I said, a little bit more advanced, just a little bit more to do with these. But I think I think these hold up well. The only real problem that I have with this set is the color blue on the TIE Fighter. It's the only problem I have. There's nothing else about the set that I think doesn't hold up. I mean, you know exactly what it is. You may not know it's TIE Advance. You may look at it and say, okay, well, it's a TIE Fighter. Fine. You're right. It is. It's exactly what it is. So, you know, I think they did a good job. The Y-Wing, it's exactly what you got here. I mean, you know exactly what it is when you look at it. They got all the main pieces. Yeah, there's a little bit more to do with this one, but you still know exactly what you've got right here. So I just think that's pretty cool. I think it shows that Lego knew what they were doing back in 1999. They just got even better at it as time went by. So again, that's the minifigures and the ships and comparisons. So that's all I've got today for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you were able to get some entertainment out of it and see the differences in the 1999 Lego and Legos as new as 2024 even. A lot has changed. A lot has stayed the same, and there's some really cool stuff about the older sets that maybe we've forgotten about or just lost sight of because the newer sets have gotten so cool and so advanced. So anyway, that's why I do these reviews, because there's some really great old sets out there. And some of these sets have some real value, like this one, for example, which again sold new for $50 back in 1999, and today it's new in box. It's worth upwards of $175 to $200, like I said before. So anyway, I love Lego. I love Star Wars Lego, and it's really something I'm passionate about. And so I love bringing the details like this to you, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing. And please remember, if you subscribe, you'll be notified every time I release a new video. Right now I'm on kind of a weekly schedule, and I intend to continue to do it that way for the foreseeable future. There's plenty of great old sets, and I have a lot of them that I would love to be able to share. And so look for more to come here in the next week or so. Thanks again. Have a great day.